Hey everybody, welcome to the stream. How are you all doing today? My name is Anna Carolina, and today I'm going to be working on a kind of like Chinese dragon. And we're going to be using some cool techniques and features today. Like we're going to make its long body out of like an IMM curve brush that we're going to make from scratch. We're going to sculpt its head, teeth, fur, all that stuff. And then at the end, hopefully if there's time, we'll pose it out using that brush that we are going to make. So, hope you're all excited for this. Ana Paula também tava com saudade. Oi, tudo bem? Hope you're all excited. I am pretty excited for this. It will take a little trial and error. I expect to have to do multiple times the brush, like do some trials, you know, because you never know how it's all gonna fit together. So it takes a little finessing, you know. So let's go ahead and get started with a sphere 3D. Do you guys want me to get started with the body or the head? Let me know in the chat. I miss my lives. I miss doing lives too. I'm kind of back on a schedule though, so I'll be here every twice a month. So every other Sunday, I'll be here. So I was thinking, for the sake of the stream, it might be more fun to start with the face because then like it'll be visible and it'll be fun to see. So let's just like super sketch the face. Like let's go for speed above all things. I have my reference board to the right here, just because I have a lot of different artwork, like from people that I don't know who they are, unfortunately. So I have no idea. Some of it came from different places and whatnot, so I don't want to like show it without giving proper credit. Hey Sage. Oh, you said body? Ah, crap. All right, let's do the head really quick. Like challenge ourselves to a super speed sculpt off, I say. Proceeding to probably go pretty slow. Let's find out. So this will be the forehead right here. I'm already going to grab the clay buildup. I have been liking the clay buildup with a high focal shift and no alpha these days. Just creates kind of like a more smooth base like this. To be honest, I kind of miss the squares though, so I might switch back and forth. This right here will be the cheekbones. We're just kind of like starting to play some little things like that. Let's mask out where the snout will be. And then we're just going to use the move brush to drag out that little snout. Perfection. Actually, let's make it a little bit more slim. It's kind of like the cross-section shape of the snout. Let's try that. I think that will be a little bit better. Like that. And let's turn on Dynamesh today. You guys know I always switch between Dynamesh and not Dynameshing, but whatever I do, I always start really low resolution. Taking a little bit from the side, rounding out the snout, and we haven't added the bottom jaw yet, so we will do that in 1 second. I can either drag out the same way I just did or add a sphere. I think I'm gonna just, like for the sake of speed, drag out something similar to what I just did, just kind of creating a little bit of mass here. This song kind of stresses me out, to be honest. If you guys have watched my stream before, you've probably heard me say it like 1,000 times, like I need certain peaceful music. Let's make sure that these aren't touching. A little bit better. That will be the bottom jaw. Dynamesh that. It's looking a little thin, and Dynamesh does not like, you know, thin surfaces, so let's use the inflate brush to kind of thicken it up a little. Then Dynamesh again. That will start to look a little bit better already. I'm gonna take my clay buildup and kind of just create that mouth cavity a little bit more. And then just kind of continue shaping it out. Yeah, I am using Dynamesh. Gotta be fast. Yeah. I want to make it like sketchy, a little bit sketchy today. But I don't have an idea for the face very much yet. You know, it could be anything. well, I mean, it couldn't be anything, but there's like a lot of slightly different common designs for a dragon like this. I'm gonna grab my damn standard, turn down the intensity and make it more sharp. And then I'm just gonna start sketching in kind of the in-between areas, like the little cavities, you know? And I'm just gonna swap between that, move brush, and clay buildup during this kind of building out phase. Clay buildup will be to like add and subtract volumes. Them standard will be to create crevices and cuts. Move brush is just to change the overall. My dog just ran her head into the desk for no reason. Oh my god, she distracted me so much. Just like when you hear like a thump from underneath your desk and it's just your dog running its face into there. Anyway. Eu acho muito louco modelar dragão pra começar tão simples e vai ficando complexo dependendo de como vai ser exato. Eu acho que eu já aprendi muitas lições sobre dragão. Eu acho que uma das coisas importantes é tentar não deixar a anatomia ficar muito complexa. Sem necessidade. Tem alguns dragões que talvez precisa, mas normalmente a gente fica achando que tem que ficar mais e mais complexo e não precisa, sabe? I'm gonna add the eyes by adding an insert IMM primitive sphere. And I'm gonna make it big. So this thing is gonna be 3D printed. Let me introduce this project, by the way. So what's gonna happen is I was invited to create a design for a charity event at the Ringling College, where I work, where we all have a bottle of bourbon that we have to customize, and I'm going to 3D print a Chinese dragon that wraps around it, basically. And since it's gonna be relatively small, I want the details to pop. So by making big eyes, I kind of start setting that up. Let's go ahead and split on mask points like that and just kind of keep shaping up everything around this little guy. And keeping everything kind of loose. One of the most important part is going to be teeth for sure. I need better reference, honestly, of what the face is supposed to look like for this. Let's see. I gotta correct it, it's Chinese donuts. Like a Chinese dragon? Yes. Hey, Anna, read my name. I feel like that's trap. I just want to say you inspire me as a 3D artist. I love your work. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. That's so sweet. You guys inspire me too. Got some cool references here that we can maybe use. Ooh, the big mouth. I like that. I like this like more, I don't know, like traditional design as well. We'll come up with something ourselves, you know, something between. I was noticing earlier today, like when I was searching for this, all I could find was AI generated images, just non-stop. You know, the internet is starting to become unusable with all of these AI. I think this is AI too. All these AI generated images. What do you guys think? I think it was just a matter of time for it to happen where AI keeps just sampling itself, you know? So I'm gonna add a little bit more of a forehead up here based on the reference. I don't know why I picked a Chinese dragon. I was literally just looking at the bottle and that's the only thing I wanted to make. You know, like there was nothing else that I wanted to make. It just came to my mind and I wanted to make it and that was it. There's no other true reason I'm making it this way. But it was just the Chinese New Year recently. And I figured we could celebrate late, but celebrate anyway. So I'm gonna kind of mask the top of the head so that I can manipulate the bottom jaw and the top jaw separately. Let's go ahead and add a little bit more. The mouth is going to be longer. It's going to come up behind the eyes almost, you know. We can also increase the mouth cavity here. And then start adding the waves of the mouth. I've noticed a lot of them have very wavy mouths, which I enjoy. I like weird little mouths. So a little bit more chin with the Alt move. So like use the move brush and you press Alt and it just kind of drags it in perpendicular to the mesh, which is a really nice feature. I'm just going to kind of increase the mouth over here even more. And he looks a little funky without the teeth. That will be fixed. Yeah, he's trash. I know. Like there are some ethical uses. Like if we were able to keep it ethical and like reference, you know, properly what it sampled and things like that, I think it would be fabulous. But that's not where this is going, right? Another thing is like, couldn't humanity just live in a complete luxury and comfort while AI and robots did everything that we don't want to do? But in the meantime, that's not at all what's happening. Oh, that's what we'd say. I'm currently doing like cutesy stuff in ZBrush, but I really want to slowly learn realistic sculpting. Mo Tumen says, I think it's unstoppable, although we have to adapt to it. Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Like, human beings can adapt to anything. That's the beauty of being a human being in the first place. Do you guys agree? Like, that's what made us survive through ice ages and countless hardships. We will make it through and probably use it to the greater advantage of the civilization. Maybe, if done well. Am I right? Am I right, people? On that note, now might be a good time to introduce myself for those of you who haven't seen me here before. My name's Ana Carolina Pereira. I am a 3D character artist and technical artist working in the games and VR industry, although I do random things here and there, like other topics. I have been streaming on this channel for like 5 years, on and off, you know, mostly on, but I have taken some breaks. I'm back now. I'm hoping to keep this going for as long as possible, twice a month. And I also am a ZBrush instructor. I currently teach at the Ringling College of Art and Design, where I teach, you know, game programming, game design, tech art, those kinds of things. And sometimes I teach ZBrush. If you guys have any questions about education, the tools, anything like that, feel free to ask, please. I am here to serve. Is that a Chinese dragon? It will be, yeah. Today I'm not feeling particularly artistic, you know? Like I'm just not feeling it today, so I'm hoping it'll come out as I go through this process. Your pace is quite quick though. We're used to sculpting traditionally. No, I do not sculpt traditionally. I tried when I was like 5 years old. Just wasn't for me. But I've done so many streams, so many lessons and things like that, that I ended up picking up a little bit of speed. And I have some tips on picking up speed yourself, if that's something that interests you. But definitely, you know, this speed isn't always realistic. Like, you can make something way better than I can if you take your time. I'm gonna open his mouth more because the way I envision it is like a really like violent, aggressive roar. Like he's protecting the bottle of bourbon. You know, like, don't you dare touch this bottle. But right now he just kind of looks like a lizard made out of socks. Yes, I'd like to hear it. So one huge thing you can do to work a little faster is you can set set goals and challenges for yourself. The only way to be fast is to just try to be fast over and over and over again. And you will suck at first. You'll both be slow and your work will probably look worse. But the thing is that if you just keep going, over time your quality of work will improve and you'll stay fast. So it takes quite a bit of practice. Another thing is to just learn the tools that you have, learn different ways to make things a little bit faster for yourself. That also helps a whole bunch. Guys, you know how it is. I'm gonna make the eyes a little bit bigger, I think. But also, I'm gonna go ahead and paint them already. I know, it's like a record for me. I just want to kind of see the pupil. It's gonna be like a tiny, tiny pupil. In fact, I might end up just sculpting that on because it needs to be printed. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take the do we have an alpha that is like a little circle inside of a circle? Yeah, that's good. I'm gonna take the standard brush, turn it into a drag rectangle, put on this little circle alpha, and subtract and go like this, you know, and it's a little weak. So I'm gonna try a little bit again with a stronger focal shift as well. Kind of practicing what the eye will look like the traditional metal look has like this kind of like sculpted iris situation, and then I can grab like a circular one and just try to get it centered as much as possible. Oh, he looks creepy. Oh boy. It helps to make him look in one direction as opposed to two. Just a little bit, you know. I also had a material that I had added to my repertoire here that looked really good for like printing stuff. Let me try to find it real quick. I think it's this one, but it might be a little too much for this exact instant right now. Like it's too dark. I remember. Hi. I remember. How are you doing? Can you guys hear the fan? I just turned on the fan. Oh, I gotta take off this. Let me reset this brush. Hi, Eduardo. Hi, Warrior Maddie. How are you? I think I'm gonna like make the brows more expanded over here. It's a little aggressive at the M standard. I gotta make sure that I make everything really like marked in, because again it will be printed relatively small, so it's gotta be visible from afar, you know. That's how I check to see if it'll maybe look good when I print it. Is like, is it visible for when I make it tiny like that? You saw my Instagram video. It's awesome. I'm glad you liked it. Thank you. Yeah, I try to put all of this stuff on Instagram whenever we can. Me and my team of I have an assistant, Sean, who puts those videos up for me sometimes. It's really nice. I'm just kind of like sketching on the face with like shapes that I might like, which are starting to break away from that reference I was using, but like in a good way. You know, I want him to be like more scrunchy, more wolf-like maybe. Let's try to get that lip nice and continuous. I might end up making the lip on a separate object to get it to be like nice and clean. He looks mad. I'd say that is a success as far as looking mad goes. The teeth, I think, are going to be fun to make, but really hard for me to decide exactly how I want them, you know? I think I'm going to want those upturned teeth on the side. For sure, I love those. Let's go ahead and append a Z-sphere. Any Z-sphere. Select the Z-sphere, make it smaller. Then we're going to make it longer on one axis. And then taper it down. So go to the deformers, taper, and then just push in right there on the corner. And push out to like get more of a tapered shape. Let me just kind of make it skinnier like that, more pointy, longer. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to get the tooth to be kind of like a triangular shape. I just prefer to make the teeth like a triangular shape on the cross section. Let's smooth that. That looks quite uneven. Let's turn on solo and then add 2 more corners. Ooh, that's too strong. I think my tablet is kind of struggling with sensitivity. And I'm kind of going to get the teeth to be a little bit more triangular, less round. Once that's done, we're going to test it out first and foremost. So I'm going to duplicate the tooth, keep the old one just in case. And we're going to turn off symmetry. And we're going to start by putting a big tooth right around here, like behind on this high part of the lip. Make it nice and big. And then we're going to use the bend curve deformer. Add 3 points like this with the yellow cone and then just start shaping it outwards. Does it go out or in like this? What do you guys think? I think out looks better. Gosh, I love deformers. Alright, let's see where else I want more teeth. You're also a game modeler? Yes. But like, depends on what you mean by that. Like, I try to avoid doing like props and hard surface, but I'm actually working on a hard surface environment right now. Fun fact. You know, but it's also like a tech art demo kind of project. I'm making a procedural dungeon. Like, we're generating a procedural dungeon, you know? It's really fun. Let me mirror and weld under geometry, modify topology. Mirror and weld. I think I chose the wrong angles for this. I'm not loving it. Cool. How many polygons do you take to make a model like a game character? That is such a difficult question to answer for the simple reason that it depends on the game, it depends on the character, it depends on where the game is running. 1,000 different things, you know. Unfortunately. Let's go ahead and block out the hair really quick. So I'm going to append a sphere right behind his head. So the dragons are supposed to kind of, a lot of these dragons have like a mane of some sort. I'm looking through my reference board right now, trying to see what kind of mains I like. I'm going to use the snake hook brush, and I'm going to turn on Sculptress Pro. And also, I'm going to go curve and AccuCurve, which will make the shapes nice and pointy like that. And then I can just kind of start using like the clay buildup. Let me put the square back on. Kind of start getting like these like hair-like shapes. At least a sketch of hair. Use the move brush to kind of get the hair to start where you want it to start. Then the snake hook. So just kind of come in here and start putting in the wiggles, as I like to call them. This is just like a blockout, by the way. We're going to make brand new hair later. Using the same technique I used last time I streamed, 2 weeks ago, for the Pal World character. So this is just supposed to be like a quick and dirty blockout so we can kind of see how it might look with hair. It kind of looks bald, poor thing. Let's go ahead and bring some hair down to his forehead a little bit. Poor little guy. He looks so rough. He needs an ear. Just like, it's kind of like goblin ears or like elf ears that these tend to have. I'm just going to make it by appending a sphere. Bringing it over to one side, making it smaller. Longer. Rotating it into position like so. However you wish to have it. We're going to taper it just like we did with the tooth. Just a little bit. Except, then I'm going to use my clay buildup. Let's take off Sculptress Pro. And I'm just going to cut in a little bit of a cavity. Nothing too crazy. This is just going to, I like to call this part, like, it's not even blocking out yet. I'm just giving myself the room to sculpt, if that makes sense. Like, we need to just, like, throw down the clay sometimes before we can even do anything with it. Mirror and weld, the other side, so geometry, modify topology, mirror and weld. Oh, make sure to turn symmetry on after that. Let's check what it looks like with the basic material on. So, but that's to be expected right now. Let's start to... I'm glad you like my headphones. Let's start to bring the Dynamesh up a little bit. I like to do it bit by bit. And I throw a little bit of smooth there sometimes, not too much. And then just kind of coming in here and starting to tighten things up. you using other references other than that one small illustration? And yeah, I'm using a bunch of others. I just don't have them on screen because I don't have the credits for who made them. Hi, Bo. Welcome. Or Bui. I'm using my dim standards to try to like sharpen some corners here. Get some shapes slightly more figured out. I don't like the way the nose wrinkles look, so I might have to restart that part, but that's okay. Just give it a smooth. Boa noite, é sempre bom te ver por aqui. Boa noite, Fabiana. How many software do you know working on game models? I know Unreal, Maya, a bunch of like Autodesk products, Adobe products like Photoshop, Substance, Suite. Not very good at Designer yet. I haven't tried it actually very much, but I think that's one of the next ones I want to get pretty okay at. Boa noite, André, tudo bem? Yeah, right now I'm just kind of sketching the design out a little bit. Not sure what to do with it yet. Simplify the nose area just a little bit for now. And I think I'm gonna do like more like a wolf snarl, you know, that like continues this way. And do more like undulations. And then I'll make this undulation taller. Let's see if that looks any better. So yeah, I'm just trying to keep everything pretty loose so that I can try to work out what I like. I'm glad you appreciate it, Rez. Muito boa sua participação no Summit com o Rafa Souza. Foi ótimo, foi? Como faz pra deixar o clipe do Samulizinho assim? Eu mudei o focal shift, a intensidade pra baixo. E também às vezes eu tiro o alpha. Gabi! Oi, Ana, sou um grande fã. Abraço. Que bom, bem-vinda. Let me see what happens if I throw a little clay polish on there. With a little bit of sharpness. Kind of like that look. I always like this look of like the turning up the sharpness and then like making it nice and look like wood. You don't use reference model, this detailed model. You model by your own. So I am using my reference. I'm not copying the reference though. I'm just using it. Você dá curso, Ana, sem ser através da plataforma? Sim, eu dou cursos através do meu Teachable. Você pode acessar ele aqui, peraí. Eu vou botar meu Linktree, onde dá pra acessar tudinho. I also forget to put on the area where there should be horns here. So let's sketch that in. Little clay buildup. A little bit of move brush, perhaps. I also kind of think I want a little beard, so I'm just gonna like yank it around to the front using a little bit of, oh yeah, Sculptors Pro doesn't work with the move brush, I think. Let's make sure the hair is not going through the mouth. Just a little bit of clay buildup just to, and a little snake hook. What are you guys up to today? Anybody working on any cool projects? I'm just still, yet still playing with the shapes, seeing what I like here. I might grab a little snake hook there. Start adding some spikes or something. Ooh, I like that. I know that he sometimes has little whiskers. Like that. Looks cute. Cute little baby. Tem algo que você não curte modelar? Assim, por exemplo, se eu tivesse que modelar um carro, um helicóptero, eu acho que eu morreria de tédio. Mas é porque eu não curto muito. This will be where the horns kind of go. Three Pixel, I'm glad you're here. Welcome. Now, working with the game character, I'm actually finished my high poly today, and it would be time for a retopo. You got any additional tips there? Oh, yeah, tons. Make it as low poly as possible, and then divide up if you need to. Like, keep your retopology really low poly. That way, it's easier to do faster. You know, you get less confused by having too many polygons on screen. Let's make these teeth bigger. With symmetry on, ideally. And then let's try to see if it looks better if I rotate these teeth to be like more like normal canines. What do you guys think? Let's give him some gums. So the way I like to do it is we're gonna have to hide that somehow. Whoopsie daisy. Okay, perfect. I'm gonna grab the head, solo it, and then I'll just make the gums out of the out of an extraction. Then we're gonna go to subtool, extract. Okay, extract. Okay, that's not so bad. Accept. Then I'm gonna give it a good old smooth. There's some extra little bits there that we'll delete. And that will be kind of like the gum for now. We're definitely gonna make sure that over time we're gonna create a little bit more mass wherever there's gonna be like big teeth, you know? Maybe the inflate brush will be better than the clay buildup because the inflate won't mess the bottom side out. Put the teeth on the outside this time. Oh my god. Are you doing the body as well? Yes, and I'm actually going to use an IMM curve brush to make the body. So stay tuned. Let's add a tongue. So the way I like to do it is append the sphere. Make that small and long. You know what would be a really cool feature for the future for ZBrush? It would be if we could make a mesh kind of like constrain a mesh to a curve, you know? Like make a curve and then make this tongue go along the curve. That'd be so cool. for now. I could use the deformers, but I'm just gonna use the move brush because it will get the job done. Ana, mais uma dúvida. Quando você começa um projeto, você começa com quantos polígonos? Eu começo com Dynamesh no 32. What are your thoughts and advice for someone deep diving into the abyss of said lovely tool of ZBrush? Remember that you don't need to know everything right away. Most pros get away with sculpting just like with 3 different tools. So don't be afraid that you don't know everything yet. It's okay. You know, don't let yourself get overwhelmed and just make art as fast as possible. Not like rush the art, but like start making the art as fast as possible, you know? Hey Helder, welcome to the stream. I'm still not liking the shapes here. You know, there's like this technique that a mentee of mine, like we were doing for something, like we were trying to get it for a skull with like a bunch of like filigree on it, you know, and the idea was we wanted to try to use curves to create the shapes. Like, I'm gonna try it, you know, might as well. Just let me do some nonsensical things real quick. Kind of like that pudgy eyelid situation we got going on there. Try and see if I broaden the brows, if it looks a little bit better. Maybe. So what I want to see is if it'll look good if I start using like curve tube snap. I change its depth to go down a little bit so that as I snap curves on it, it kind of goes into the skin. And then I can kind of go to stroke, curve modifiers and size, and then kind of make like the beginning and end of the curves small. That way I can just kind of come in here and add stuff like that, you know, and like see if it'll look good. So for example, like create some anatomical quote unquote effects with the brushes, with the curves. For some reason I can't click. Oh yeah, gotta click on this side. Oh, he's got a furry little eyebrow. That is so cute. I'm gonna keep that. You can also come up here to stroke and hit curve functions and smooth, and then you hit it again and it'll just like smooth the curve, but I think I like it this way. Stuff like that. Like I want to see what I can get from doing little effects like that. Like around his eye maybe. It's gonna be like a different piece, like a slightly stylized thing. Like might as well have a little fun with it and try new things. It's like a really, really different technique for me. I'm gonna go ahead and also set it up so that it has lock start turned on, because otherwise it's going to be really hard to control these. So back to stroke, curve, lock start, and that way I can just like yank it around, you know. Let's come in here, just guarantee that this start is like nice and snug. Bye bye, Warrior Maddie. Your thoughts on Maya for design? It's fine. I mean, I like ZBrush more, but that's just me. They're different strengths and purposes. Ana Carolina, quando a gente usa um curve brush, tipo aquele que faz uma fita, o cordão, às vezes fazemos e fica curto. Tem como fazer uma parte depois continuar a aumentar a partir das pontas? Sim. Sim. É só você não, mas não pode parar de, tipo, usar, sabe? Você tem que criar o formato e aí você vai aqui assim, ó, e você vai ver que vai conectar na ponta. Quando conectar, você faz mais e aí continua. And then each curve needs to get, you know, a little bit of love so that once I dynamesh, everything will be okay. Maybe these curves will also help me figure out what I want to do for the, like, the snarl part. I'm really confused about this part. I'm gonna be 100% honest with you guys. Is there any type of object, surfaces, models that you don't use ZBrush with? I'm fairly new to ZBrush, but I find it so intuitive and quick. Then going back to Maya blend. You know what? These days I try to use it for everything if I can. Just if I can, you know. I'm trying to get better at hard surface modeling in ZBrush. It's actually working, like I'm getting a lot better. Learning new techniques, you know. How can we follow more of your work and streams? I found my Zen moments. Here's my link in case you need it for everything: Instagram, social media, workshops with me, one-on-one mentorships with me, etc. I'm gonna go ahead and separate the eyebrows into their own mesh, because I think I'm gonna want to keep the eyebrows separate. So it looks so, they're too perfect. Split mask points off, and then I'm gonna try to divide up, just to try. I'm gonna divide up the stuff, and then I'm going to see what it looks like if I dynamesh it. Not bad. Just gonna make sure that it's dynameshable, you know. Let me turn up the dynamesh options. Yeah, it can work. Some parts of it looks weird though, so I gotta fix that. Like for example right here, it's like floating over the top. And then I'm gonna divide up the eyebrows because I love them. I'm gonna, in order to maintain a little bit of the sharpness of the edges here, I'm gonna go to crease. I learned this last time, and we're gonna hit crease, and we're gonna choose by tolerance. Turn it down until we get the long ones to be creased, and then we're gonna divide up a few times and uncrease it. And then divide it again, and it'll kind of create. I kind of got these bottom ones. Let's try again. We have to find the perfect tolerance to not get the horizontal ones. Almost. I'll just keep it like this for now, for right now. Oops, oh, actually dynameshing it seems to have worked. Let's fix it. Oh, I'm gonna use I'm gonna use the curves to make fur in a little bit, so you'll see. George, I just want to say I love your videos on Instagram. Watching you sketching is super fun and inspiring. Your videos always make me want to sketch something. Oh, awesome. Sketch something right now. Let's do it. Looks badass in the front. Yeah, we just gotta work on the side as well. Gotta work on this whole area here. Let's fix these teeth up a bit. I think I like the teeth bent like this. What do you guys think? But instead of bending it by hand, I can always use this spiral brush, which like kind of bends things like this and makes it nice and round. And then what do I do with these front teeth? That's the thing, I don't like them. Maybe just round them out a little bit. Makes them look more jazzy, I guess. Have you tried ZBrush on the iPad? Yes. Oh, I have not. I haven't been the most active with this sort of stuff, so no, not quite yet. Let's look at it from far away, see if it reads. I think for the eyeball, I wonder what would happen if I just turned up the contrast on the eyeball, like to make it more dramatic. Ooh, I like that. Take the little pinch brush and just kind of pinch to make the eyelids a little bit more clean, and then try to shape them up. Hi Vega, how are you? I'm good. I'm doing decently. Doing my thing. Surviving. The spiral brush is going to be very essential for this project today. What do you guys think? I don't know. It looks messy, but I do think it's going to need some curvature there. But yeah, I hope you guys are having a little fun. I'm like weirdly hyper focused. I wanted to try to finish this in one stream, but I can tell I might not have the energy. Let's give him more teeth because he just looks a little bit silly without them, and then we'll move on to the body. How does that sound? Let's clean up the side view too. But we can do that after the body. Let's go ahead and add a little bit of mask to the gums. It'd be good to select gums. I have no idea where the gums are. Especially around this big old tooth here. And then just lower the gums a little bit so that they show through. Makes him look a little bit more mad. You know, it's like he's raising his like lips. Are you back with streaming? Yeah, twice a month. How you can tell me how to motivate myself? Well, first thing I like to do is I like to remind myself why I'm doing this in the first place. Try to have some big picture thinking. You know, why do you wanna do this? What drives you? Is there a picture that you think of that, you know, explains your ambitions? Like, you want to do it for your family, for yourself, for your future children, for money, for fame, whatever. Doesn't matter. try to think of that vision, you know. I have an entire little like article written about this, by the way, like for those of you guys who might want to read it. It's on my Teachable. But basically, the idea is you either have to do positive motivation or negative motivation, right? The negative is like everybody else is working really hard, so I gotta work, otherwise I'm gonna miss out on opportunity. My competition is working, so sometimes it helps to think about it negatively. I don't do that so much anymore, but I used to a lot when I was younger. Then you can think about what motivates you, and you can just remember that, like, you know, motivation isn't key. It's all about discipline. You have to have discipline to get anywhere here. Sorry if you already said before, but can you tell us more about this charity event? The dragon will be animated, printed. It will be printed, and it will be printed, painted bronze, and like it will be added to a bourbon bottle, which will be kind of fun. You know, so there's this like nice bourbon bottle that the Ringling College gave me that I have to customize for this charity event. So I'm gonna make this big dragon like all around the bottle, and then it's gonna be sold for charity at an event, like a auction. Hopefully it sells for a lot of money. Tudo bem, Arthur? E com você? Gonna just insert a little tooth here, which is just a spear. Oh, tiny teeth. So cute. And I'm just gonna, just as usual, lengthen them, shape it up. For this one, I think just a little pinch brush might do the job, you know, to like sharpen them. We don't necessarily want them to be super sharp. Definitely want them facing the right direction though. I'm gonna use a little trim dynamic on them before I start placing them around. I think just like to kind of get a little flatter. And a little pinch from the sides as well. And then I can just control drag with the gizmo, make it smaller. Not too small, otherwise it won't print properly. And then one more. Like that. And then I can